Hard work is a lie. Not the whole lie, but enough of one to quietly destroy your financial future, and nobody's going to warn you about it. You wake up early, you stay late, you skip vacations, you tell yourself, this is temporary. Once I work hard enough, it'll click. But here's what nobody says out loud. There are people working 3 times harder than you right now who will die broke. And there are people who haven't touched a keyboard in a week, whose wealth is quietly compounding while they sleep. So what's actually going on? Here's what school taught you. Work hard, get paid, save money, repeat. Sounds reasonable, feels moral. Everyone around you believes it. But I want you to notice something. That formula has a ceiling, and you're probably already bumping against it. Stay with me, because the reason this happens is something most people never see until it's way too late. Here's the brutal math of trading time for money. You have 24 hours. Sleep takes 8. Work takes 8 or more. What's left? Maybe 4, 5 hours? Now, you can hustle those extra hours, pick up a side job, grind weekends, and you might earn more. But you'll never earn enough because the model is broken from the start. You are a finite resource selling hours, and hours have a cap. Now here's where it gets interesting. The people pulling ahead of you aren't working more hours. They've done something completely different. They've built systems that earn without them. A rental property earns rent at 3 a.m. A stock pays dividends on Sunday. A business makes sales while the owner is on a flight. This isn't theory. This is the actual difference between the two groups, the ones who build wealth and the ones who fund it. But here's the part that stings. Nobody taught you to build systems. You were taught to be the system. Show up, perform, collect pay. Show up, perform, collect pay. That's not wealth building. That's treadmill maintenance. So why don't people just change? This is where it gets psychological. Hard work feels productive. There's a dopamine hit every time you check something off. Every extra shift feels like progress. Your brain is rewarding you for staying exactly where you are. It's called the effort trap. The more effort something takes, the more valuable it feels, even when it isn't moving you forward. There's also something called identity lock. If your whole self-image is built on being a hard worker, the idea of not working hard feels like cheating, like laziness, like you're doing something wrong. So even when people learn about investing, passive income, building assets, they dismiss it. That's not for people like me. Sound familiar? That sentence, that one quiet, invisible sentence, is worth more to the system than any tax or fee they could ever charge you. Here's the shift. Stop asking, how can I earn more? Start asking, how can I build something that earns without me? Those are completely different questions, and they lead to completely different lives. Rich people aren't smarter. They're not luckier. Well, some are, but that's not the point. The difference is this. They stopped being the engine and became the owner of the engine. That's it. That's the whole secret they dress up in books and seminars. And before you say, I don't have money to invest, that's exactly what someone who was trained to be an employee would say. Because the truth is, you don't start with money. You start with attention. You learn how money moves. You find one small lever. You pull it. Then you find another. It compounds, slowly, then suddenly. So here's the simplest thing you can do right now. Write down where your money comes from. One source? That's a warning sign. Then write down where wealthy people's money comes from. Dividends, rent, business revenue, royalties, interest. Notice the gap. Your only job right now, not forever, just right now, is to close that gap by 1 inch. Open one index fund. Buy one tiny piece of a business through the stock market. Automate one transfer on payday before you can spend it, not because it'll make you rich tomorrow, but because it rewires how you think about money. And that rewiring, that's the actual wealth building. Everything else follows. Here's what I want to leave you with. Working hard is not the problem. The problem is working hard inside a box and calling it a plan. You weren't born to clock in and clock out until your body gives up, but nobody's going to hand you the door out. You have to see it first. Most people watch this kind of video and then go back to the treadmill. Will you?